All right, welcome back to the deep dive, everybody. Today, we're diving into the idea of the chosen one.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and we're going to be looking at this from kind of a spiritual perspective, drawing from this piece that we found.
Okay.
But I think even if you're not, super into that kind of stuff,
Right.
there's a lot here for everyone. It's about purpose and resilience and,
Absolutely.
even leadership. Even if you don't consider yourself a super spiritual person, have you ever had that feeling like you were destined for something big?
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a special path just for you? I know I have.
Me too.
Well, the source we're looking at today, it really digs into that feeling and all the
Right.
challenges and the rewards that come with it. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
It's funny. This whole chosen one thing, it pops up everywhere you look.
Really?
Yeah, in myths and religions, even in like modern movies and books.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's this archetype, this idea that just seems to capture our imaginations.
It makes you wonder why.
Well, and that's exactly what we're going to try to figure out in this deep dive. What can we learn from this chosen one idea
Yeah,
about our own lives, about our sense of purpose,
right.
about how we deal with all the curveballs that life throws at us when we're trying to do something meaningful?
I like that. So the source kind of jumps right into the hard parts about feeling chosen. And the first thing they talk about is like the weight of all the expectations that come with it.
Oh, I can
So
imagine.
like all these hopes and dreams, suddenly they're all on your shoulder.
Yeah, that can be a lot to handle.
Definitely.
The source, they actually compare it to like being an athlete at the Olympics,
Oh, wow.
where an entire country is watching you, hoping you'll win.
Can you imagine?
It's that kind of pressure. Intense, right?
Yeah, that puts it into perspective for sure. I mean, most of us have probably felt that weight of expectation, even if it's not on that Olympic scale,
Of course.
Like maybe pressure from your family to follow a certain career path. Or feeling like you have to live up to a certain image in your friend group or something. It can be a lot, even on a smaller level.
Totally. And the source points out that this pressure can really mess with you mentally. Right?
Yeah.
It can lead to being afraid of failure or needing to be perfect all the time or even burning yourself out trying to meet everyone's expectations.
It's like you're constantly trying to prove yourself.
Exactly. But what's cool is that the source doesn't just leave us hanging with all these challenges.
Oh, good.
They actually give us some strategies to work through them.
Okay, so what do they suggest? I'm guessing things like mindfulness and self-care come up.
Oh, absolutely. But they actually take it a step further.
Oh.
They introduce this really interesting mindfulness technique. It's called anchoring.
Anchoring. Okay, I've never heard of that. What is that?
Well, it's pretty simple, but it's really powerful. It's about finding something, like an object or a picture or even just a sound
Okay.
that
Huh.
makes you feel peaceful and grounded.
I see.
And whenever you start feeling overwhelmed by all that pressure, you just focus on that anchor. It brings you back to the present moment, reminds you of your own strength.
That's actually really clever. I can see how that would be helpful, especially in a high-pressure situation.
It's like a secret weapon against stress and anxiety, right?
For sure.
And what I think is so insightful about this source is that they're giving us these practical tools that anyone can use.
Right.
It doesn't matter what your spiritual beliefs are.
Makes sense.
It's all about dealing with these chosen one feelings in a way that's grounded and makes sense for everyone.
So we've talked about the weight of expectations, but the source mentions other challenges too, right?
Yes.
Like isolation can be kind of lonely at the top, right?
Absolutely. Feeling like you're on this unique path, different from everyone else, it can definitely make you feel isolated.
It's like even if people are supportive, they might not truly get what you're going through.
Right. And a source brings up some interesting examples from history, like Galileo. He was ridiculed and opposed for his scientific discoveries.
Yeah.
And then there were the suffragettes fighting for women's rights, despite all the pushback they faced.
They were definitely ahead of their time.
And their point is, anyone who's brave enough to break new ground, to challenge the status quo,
Yeah.
they're likely going to feel that sense of isolation.
That's so true. And it's not just historical figures, right?
No, not at all.
I mean, think about entrepreneurs, artists, anyone who's trying to create something new and innovative.
Totally.
They often face rejection and doubt early on, and that can be so lonely.
Absolutely. And the source acknowledges just how tough that isolation can be.
So what does the source say about dealing with that feeling? They must have some advice beyond just find your people.
Oh, they do. They talk about building what they call a council of
A
guides.
council of guides. Okay, that sounds kind of mystical.
It's not about summoning spirits or anything.
Okay, good.
It's about finding mentors, advisors, trusted friends, people who can offer support, guidance, encouragement on your journey.
I like that.
They could be people you admire, people who've walked a similar path, even just people who believe in your vision.
I love that idea. It's like having a personal board of directors for your life purpose.
Exactly. And the source emphasizes that it's not just about surrounding yourself with yes people.
Right.
You need people who will challenge you, ask the tough questions, help you see your blind spots.
Okay.
They encourage seeking out diverse perspectives and voices to make your journey richer.
That makes a lot of sense. It's so easy to get stuck in an echo chamber,
Mhm.
surrounded by people who just tell you what you want to hear.
Absolutely.
But real growth comes from being challenged and pushed outside your comfort zone.
Couldn't agree more. And it's interesting. The source connects this idea of finding your council of guides to self-care.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say that having that support system actually makes it easier to take care of yourself.
That makes sense.
Like if you know you have people you can lean on, you're less likely to push yourself till you burn out.
It's like having a safety net so you can, take risks and go after your goals
Exactly.
without feeling like you have to do it all alone.
And they make a good point about self-care too. It's not just about, bubble baths and spa days.
Those are nice.
Yeah, of course. But it's also about setting boundaries, getting enough sleep, eating healthy.
Right, the basics.
Yeah, creating a lifestyle that actually supports you on your journey.
It's easy to forget about that stuff when you're chasing your dreams.
Totally. But the source makes it clear, self-care is not a luxury, it's essential.
Like you can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Exactly. Now, there's another challenge the source talks about that I think a lot of people struggle with.
What's that?
Humility. How do you embrace being the chosen one without letting it go to your head?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is. On one hand, you need to be confident, believe in yourself and your purpose.
Right.
But on the other hand, you don't want to become arrogant or self-centered.
It's a tricky balance.
It is. And the source gives us a very specific tool to help with this, a gratitude journal.
A gratitude journal. Okay, I've heard of those, but I've never actually tried one. How's that supposed to help with humility?
Well, by focusing on what you're grateful for, all the good things in your life,
Yeah.
it shifts your attention away from yourself.
Yeah.
And it reminds you that your journey isn't just about you, it's about something bigger.
Like you're part of something larger.
Exactly. And the source emphasizes that gratitude isn't just about feeling good.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we're all connected, that we all receive support and blessings in so many ways.
It's like an antidote to ego and feeling entitled.
Right. Okay, so we've talked about expectations, isolation, humility. What else does the source have to offer?
Yeah, what other insights are there?
One theme that runs throughout is this idea that the chosen one's journey isn't just about personal gain.
Okay.
It's not just about achieving things for yourself.
So it's about more than just fulfilling your own destiny.
Exactly. It's about using your gifts, your unique journey,
Right.
to make a positive impact on the world.
It's about service to others.
Yes. And they connect this to the idea of leadership.
Oh, interesting.
They say that true leadership isn't about power or control.
So what is it about?
It's about inspiring others, empowering them to reach their full potential.
So anyone can be a leader, even if they don't have a fancy title.
Exactly. The source believes that leadership is inside all of us.
We all have that potential.
It's about recognizing your own strengths and using them to serve something greater than yourself.
That's a really empowering thought. It makes me think about all the ways people can make a difference.
Right.
Through their work, their activism, their art, even just in their everyday interactions with others.
Absolutely. And the source is clear that service isn't about being a martyr or sacrificing your own happiness.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself too.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where your passions align with a purpose that benefits others.
So it's about finding that alignment between what you love and what the world needs.
Yes. It's about recognizing that true fulfillment comes from contributing to something bigger than yourself.
They even talk about how this chosen one energy can spread outwards.
Oh, yeah, like a ripple effect.
Yeah. When you step into your purpose and start making a difference, it inspires others to do the same.
Like a chain reaction of positive change.
Starting with one person who embraces their chosen one potential.
Exactly. And the source suggests that's how real change happens.
Okay.
Not through big dramatic gestures, but through individuals choosing to live with purpose and intention.
I like that.
It's about the cumulative effect of all those individual actions.
Okay, there's one part of the source that I'm still kind of wrestling with.
What's that?
It's that whole idea of surrendering to the flow of the universe.
Yeah, I can see how that could be tricky.
I get that it's supposed to be empowering, but it also feels a little, I don't know, out there.
It's a big concept for sure.
It's like, how do you balance that surrender with actually taking action and going after your goals?
It's a great question. And the source actually addresses that directly.
Okay, good.
They say that surrendering to the flow doesn't mean being passive
Right.
or giving up on your dreams.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that there's a bigger plan at play, a
Hmm.
force that's guiding you towards what's bought for you, even when you can't see the whole picture.
So it's about trusting the process, even when things feel uncertain.
Exactly. And the source says this trust requires faith.
Faith.
Not necessarily religious faith, but faith in the goodness of the universe
Mhm.
and in your own ability to handle whatever comes your way.
Like trusting that you'll figure it out.
Exactly. It's about letting go of the need to control everything,
Okay.
embracing the unknown, and trusting that you're being guided, even when it feels scary.
It's like a dance between effort and surrender.
Oh, I love
They're
that.
still putting in the work, taking action, but you're also open to the possibility that the universe might have other plans.
That's a perfect analogy.
It's like you're steering the ship, but you're also okay with the current taking you in a different direction.
And that sometimes that new direction is even better than what you had planned.
Exactly. And the source says this dance between effort and surrender gets easier over time
Yeah, the more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
as you learn to trust the process and listen to your intuition.
Exactly. This whole part really resonates with me, you know.
Me too.
We all try to force things sometimes, try to control every little outcome.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just let go and trust that the universe has your back.
I think that's a really liberating perspective.
It is. It takes the pressure off, you know. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders.
It's about embracing the journey, even the unexpected twists and turns.
And that's where the chosen one archetype gets really interesting, I think.
How so?
It's not about being perfect or having all the answers.
Okay.
It's about being brave enough to follow your purpose, even when it's scary or uncertain.
Yeah, even when you don't know where it's going to lead.
It's about trusting that you're on the right path, even if you can't see the destination.
That's a powerful message. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of the chosen one, and wow, this source really goes deep in this last part.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense, you know what I mean? They talk about this shift in focus. It's not just about, like, achieving things in the outside world.
Right, it's not about checking things off a list.
Exactly. It's more about connecting with your inner truth.
Really going inward.
Yeah, like deep down inside.
They talk a lot about intuition, like that inner voice that guides you.
Yeah, that gut feeling.
It's about making choices that align with your deepest values.
Even if they're not the popular choices or the ones people expect from you.
Right, it's not always easy.
It takes courage to go against the grain, you know, to follow that inner compass when it leads you off the beaten path.
Have you ever had that experience? Like you just knew deep down what was right, even if it didn't make sense to anyone else?
Oh, absolutely. It's like this deep knowing.
And it's not always easy to explain.
It's almost like a different kind of strength.
It's like you're tapping into something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. And the source connects this inner knowing to right action.
Right action. Okay, what do they mean by that?
It's not just about blindly following your gut.
Okay, so there's more to it.
Yeah, it's about aligning your actions with your values.
So it's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
That's a good way to put it.
Mhm.
It's about understanding what's truly beneficial in the long run, you know, not just what feels good in the moment.
So it's about what is right, not just what feels right.
Exactly. And the source gives us some practical ways to strengthen that connection to our inner truth.
Oh, like what?
Journaling, meditation, spending time in nature.
Oh, I like those.
It's about creating space for reflection, you know, giving yourself time to actually hear those whispers of wisdom.
It's funny you say that because it reminds me of something a mentor once told me. He said, the answers are already within you. You just need to learn how to listen.
That's so true. And, you know, this whole practice of tuning in,
Yeah.
it's valuable for everyone, whether you believe in a literal chosen one or not.
It's about self-awareness.
Exactly. We all have that unique inner voice shaped by our experiences, our values.
And it's up to us to listen.
And here's where the source throws in a curveball.
Oh.
They talk about this challenge of continuous learning and growth.
So it's not like you become the chosen one and then you're done.
It's not a destination, it's a journey.
There's always more to learn, more to experience.
It's a beautiful idea, isn't it? Our
Yeah.
potential is limitless. This journey of self-discovery never really ends.
It can be hard to stay motivated, though, you know?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Especially if you've already achieved some success, it's easy to get complacent.
Yeah, you can get comfortable.
So how do they suggest we approach this ongoing learning thing?
Well, they emphasize curiosity and openness,
Okay.
a willingness to try new things, to step outside that comfort zone.
Challenge yourself a little bit.
Right. Challenge your assumptions. That's where the real growth happens.
And they even talk about embracing failure, like it's just as important as success.
It's all part of the process.
They actually say that sometimes what we see is a setback.
Like a wrong turn?
Yeah, it could actually be the universe nudging us in a new direction.
It's a different way of looking at things.
Instead of getting discouraged by failure,
You can use it as feedback,
Hmm.
a chance to learn and adjust your course.
it's like that saying, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Exactly. And the source wraps up with this really powerful point. The chosen one journey isn't just about personal transformation. It's about making a positive impact on the world.
So it's about bringing what you've learned back to the community.
It's about using your experiences to make a difference.
It all comes back to that idea of leadership we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, like we all have the potential to be leaders,
In our own way.
to inspire and create change, no matter how big or small.
So to everyone listening out there,
Yeah, to all our deep divers.
even if you don't buy into the whole chosen one thing, literally,
Right, even if it's not your thing.
this archetype has so much to offer. It's about owning your unique gifts,
Yeah, embracing who you are
facing challenges with courage.
and using your journey to make the world a better place.
So what are you waiting for? What calling are you ignoring? What potential is waiting to be unleashed?
Step into your greatness and make your mark on the world.